this special edition of VVN News. I'm Wyatt Smith.
And I'm Brayden George. On this special edition of VVN, we'll be spotlighting interesting people and places around Shelby County. Starting off with something very close to campus, you may know about American Village, but did you know just how much they do for the Shelby County community?
VVN News reporter Madeline Mathern has some details, including how they're participating in this country's 250th birthday.
For many University of Montevallo students, American Village is a common sight on the commute to campus. Perhaps you've even visited on a field trip, attended a formal or event held here, or gone to the annual Festival of Tulips. But did you know just how much the institution offers? Jenny Ford, a longtime employee of American Village, discussed the wide variety of opportunities that American Village provides for education and entertainment, including tours for both students and adults, event space rentals, Christmas luncheons, and much more.
To have them have those pages of their history books come to life in front of them, and to where they, instead of it just being pictures on a page and words on the page, they're actually participating in the foundation of our country and understanding how important one vote is, and that just one person can have an impact on the remainder of the people around them, and how every vote does indeed matter.
History can be a tricky subject for some, and many students simply see it as a list of dates and names to memorize. Ford explains that American Village's mission is to change that narrative by bringing the pages of a history book to life for visitors young and old.
We have done all sorts of fun things, but I guess the biggest thing that we do, and coming up this year will be our 250th birthday of the United States. We're going to be having a huge 2-day celebration for the 4th of July this year. So, and we're calling it Sweet Home 250, and we have an entire website set up for that. So it's going to be really awesome.
For more information on planning your visit to American Village, visit www.americanvillage.org. Or you can check out their Instagram at American Village Space, Alabama. With VVN News, I'm Madeline Mathern.
So Madeline, with American Village being so close to campus, obviously, got to go and see kind of what they're about. How many times have you really been to American Village, and what's kind of your favorite thing about that?
So I've actually been lucky enough. I've been able to go a few times. I've gone to sorority formals that they've had there, and their event space is really nice. And I've also been to the Tulip Festival a few times with my sorority sisters. And every single time I've been, it's just been such a great experience. The staff is super friendly, and I just think they have so much to offer the Shelby County community.
Yeah, you talked about going to the Tulip Festival. What has that event been like?
It's super fun. It's just this beautiful field of just these brightly colored tulips, and you're able to, as mentioned earlier, you're able to take some home with you if you want. You are able to just take pictures and admire them, and it's always so fun to go with my sorority sisters and take pictures and really just have a great time together and make memories. So it's a really great experience.
Yeah, I think American Village does provide a lot. I think we were talking about it before. I don't know if you were able to, but took the elementary or intermediate school field trip to American Village.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think everybody has kind of had that opportunity to explore American Village. So I think it definitely offers a lot.
I agree.
Well, while American Village gives us a glimpse into national history, I had a chance to explore history here close to home. One Shelby County museum is focused on preserving the stories of everyday people, and I went to Columbiana to check it out. The history of Shelby County might not necessarily be found in any major textbooks or research journals. Instead, the history of the county is told in the stories of the normal, everyday people who lived it. And those stories are preserved here in Columbiana, at the Shelby County Museum and Archives.
Everyone in history, they didn't realize that they were living in history any more than we do now. They were people just like us. But we want to show that normal history from humble people, from small people, that normal everyday history matters just as much as the momentous events.
The museum itself has operated since the 1980s. It's housed in the old Shelby County Courthouse, which was built in 1854. When a new courthouse opened in 1906 2 blocks up Main Street, the building took on new roles, first as a boarding house and later as the Columbiana City Hall. By the early 1970s, it sat empty and faced demolition, but following efforts from the Shelby County Historical Society, it was spared from demolition by 1 vote. Inside, artifacts, photographs, and stacks of historical documents and court records preserve the stories of individuals who helped shape Shelby County. The vault and archives contain marriage records, obituaries, genealogical reports, and many other legal documents dating back through the Civil War, offering a glimpse into the day-to-day lives of the earliest residents of Shelby County and preserving it for years to come.
And people back then, they didn't realize that their lives were going to become history either, but they did, and they matter for that reason, because they weren't the people who were necessarily in, state government or federal government or Congress people or presidents. They were just normal people living their lives. And we want to preserve that because we want to remember them the way we want to be remembered, 50, 100 years from now.
The museum remains a lasting part of Shelby County, preserving not only its history, but the stories of the people behind it.
Yeah. And Brayden, as you were in there was a lot of history in that building. What were some of your favorite artifacts in there?
Yeah, no, there was a lot of very interesting stuff I was able to look at. Growing up in the Shelby County area, I've been able to go to the Helena Museum, and they have a display there, but going to the Shelby County Museum and seeing just everything that they had to offer was very interesting. One thing that really stood out to me is I go to church in Alabaster on Kent Dairy Road, and I'd always wondered, what's the meaning behind that? And I looked up as I was filming, and there was a bottle, Kent Dairy Farms. It was a milk bottle, and I was like, oh my goodness, it makes so much sense. Finally able to connect the dots. So just seeing, our county's history and seeing, like he said, how the normal things come to light really was kind of eye-opening. I really enjoyed being able to share that.
Oh yeah. I noticed Leland had a Montevallo sweatshirt on. Did he go to school here? Is he just super connected to the area? What's the story on that?
Yeah, so he actually came to school here, graduated, I believe, 3 or 4 years ago. He said was a history major, and straight out of school went and was able to get a job with the Shelby County Historical Society. And now he has kind of been placed almost over the museum. He's there every day. He does the tours, keeps the records, and that he was incredible to talk to. Talked to him for nearly 20 minutes, and he knows what he's talking about, and he cares about the history of this county. So being able to connect with him and just hear his stories and the things that he knew, it was very, very nice to be able to talk to him and hear that Montevallo connection, because, like we always talk about, it's a tight alumni connection when, you're all connected to Montevallo.
I mean, he seemed like he loved that place so much.
Absolutely. Well, now we're going to meet with a local Navy veteran whose story has yet to be told until now.
Television news reporter Wesley Holsenbach has more on a man who dedicated his life to the service of our country.
Just outside the city limits of Montevallo lives Tom Howell, a veteran of 20 years who has a story that has never been told.
I chose the Navy because it was easier to make rank in the Navy, whereas in the Army and the Marines, I don't know about the Air Force, but you take a test in the Navy to advance on up to you hit E7. I was at E6.
Tom, who's originally from Kansas, lived in a number of different states before finally settling down in Alabama.
When I retired, I went back to South Carolina, lived there for a little while. Did some odd and end stuff, some security work and all that, And then I got tired of that. And then by that time, my folks had moved from Kansas to Alabama. And they basically lived here 40 years.
As the cars drive by and time marches on, Tom reflects on how life always comes full circle.
I always wondered why my grandpa always sat on the front porch all the time. I mean, all the time, And I kind of realized it when I found this place, and I said, well, got me some rocking chairs, and I sat down, and I just enjoyed it, because it's real peaceful here. At nighttime, it's just quiet. So I said, well, I ain't leaving. They're going to have to carry me out in 10 bucks on this one, and this is where I end up at, just right here. And, and it's the best place I ever lived.
I like Tom, just obviously you can see full of character, full of stories. What was kind of what was kind of the way that you came about Tom? You know, what was the connection there, and why is it important for us to focus on stories for guys like Tom?
Well, yeah, first of all, you know, he's a Navy veteran, so that's really cool, but I think it goes a little bit deeper than that. Because, I mean, I told you guys I drive by his house every day, and I just saw him out there on the porch, like, every single day. I was like, you know what? Let's just tell a story, because, I mean, Dr. Finkley tells us all the time, you know, just what we're supposed to do is just tell stories. That's our main job in news. So I was like, you know what, let's just go tell this guy's story. And he actually no one's ever told a story before, and I think that's really important for us to do, is just, you know, get people a chance to tell their life story.
I mean, what was it like going up to his house for the first time, seeing all the signs and everything about him? How was that experience?
It was a little intimidating, I'm not going to lie. Brayden went with me, and Preston went too, but he was really nice, and he talked to us Preston went with me to interview him on Tuesday. He talked to us for 2 hours, so it was really an honor to talk to him and just tell his story to the world.
Well, thank you, Wesley. I'm glad you were able to tell Tom's story. I think it's definitely a good thing. Well, coming up next on this special edition of ValoVision News, we turn our spotlight to UM alumni impacting the arts.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to this Shelby County Spotlight edition of ValoVision News.
We head back up Highway 25 now to Columbiana, where a UM alum has found success in his career in the arts. VVN reporter Meg Wallace has the story.
The Shelby County Arts Council has a new director, and he may be a familiar face to some at the University of Montevallo. UM alum Greg Stone joined the council as director earlier this year, but this isn't his first time on staff.
After I retired from teaching, I came here to work part-time because I thought, well, I'm retired and work part-time.
Stone left to do work elsewhere, but saw the director position open and decided to come back.
I applied for it, and I got it, so.
Stone says working here prior has helped him adjust to his new position.
It's been great because thankfully I know most of the staff from previously being here and kind of the usual day-to-day flow of things.
While familiarity with the Arts Council helps, Stone says he is still adjusting to the change.
On the other side, there's so much more for me to learn now that I'm in this seat instead of the seat out there.
Stone also shares some goals he has for the Arts Council.
The biggest goal I have is marketing and getting the word out more about where we are, what we do, and how you can plug in and be involved, whether as a student, volunteer, or whatever kind of role.
If you'd like to get involved at the Shelby County Arts Council, you can check out their website, shelbycountyartscouncil.com. With ValoVision News, I'm Meg Wallace.
So, Meg, you're an intern at the Art Council, right?
Yes, this is my second semester there, and so this semester is when Greg has joined us, and I really love his style of management because he's somebody who's very involved. So he'll come up to us and ask, is there anything I can do for you? So I've really enjoyed his time there with us so far.
So with him being a UM alum, I know we kind of talked earlier about Leland and that connection. Is there definitely that alumni connection of being a student, him being an alumni, and just, like we talk about all the time, it's a family. And
yes.
Is there definitely, you can tell that connection?
Oh yeah, and then a lot of the staff there are alumni, so it is like a family connection where he'll ask about my classes and how it's going, and yeah, it's interesting. So.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Meg.
Thanks.
And now a look at a Shelby County first. Thompson High School is set to debut the first ever production of Frozen, the musical, in the county.
Students are gearing up to Let It Go, all while under the direction of another Montevallo alum, Hannah Jane Sizemore. ValoVision News reporter Madison Smith has more.
This spring, one Shelby County high school is taking center stage with a production that's breaking new ground. At Thompson High School, theater director Hannah Jane Sizemore, a Montevallo alum, is leading students in a production never seen before in Shelby County.
Right now we are currently in rehearsals for Frozen, the Broadway musical, and what is really cool about this show is that we are the first high school in Shelby County and in our area to produce this show. So this is the first time that people in our area will see the show done by a high school. So that's really cool that we get to be the people to set the bar and set the goal of Frozen, the Broadway musical.
As students spend hours rehearsing lines, blocking scenes, and fine-tuning vocals, the process is about more than just preparing for opening night. Each run-through builds confidence, discipline, as students learn to rely on one another both on and off the stage. For director Hannah Jane Sizemore, these moments mirror her own experience as a Montevallo theater student, where the lessons learned went far beyond the stage and continue to shape the way she guides her students today.
Every day is an audition. Every day is an audition. Every day somebody's watching you. Every day somebody is looking to see what you can do, what you can bring to the table. And also, a thing that I tell them is like, go big, or like, and fail now, then fail on stage. Like, do something big in the rehearsal room so I can see it, to see if it's going to work, and compared to doing it on opening night in front of a sold out audience.
Thompson High School's production of Frozen the Musical runs April 23rd through the 25th at 7 p.m. in the Thompson Performing Arts Center, offering audiences a look at Hannah Jane Sizemore's Montevallo training in action.
So Madison, what's kind of your connection with Miss Sizemore? How were you able to get in there, talk to her? What's kind of their connection there? Is there one? And, how is that?
Yeah, so Miss Sizemore was actually a Gold when she went to Montevallo here. So being the former Gold side leader, I invited her to come to a few viewings of our show to get her input, since she did graduate from here as a musical theater major. And her insight really helped us get our show on the road and get an outside perspective. So she's a very, very helpful alum. She's still very involved, and she's just a great person to have in your corner.
Yeah. You talked about how you're able to go behind the scenes and see how their production worked and helps with y'all's show. What were examples of this? How did that help out a lot?
Well, she came, we had gotten kind of in a groove of just watching our show over and over again, so we needed somebody with a little bit of a background in theater to come sit and give their outside perspective. So she came, watched our show, gave us notes about blocking, dialogue, and script changes. She's just a very, very intense performer, and she's a very well-rounded theater teacher, so it was just really nice to have feedback from somebody in the professional field.
So, well, thank you so much, Madison. For more information on all of these stories that you've seen today, you can check out our website, ValloVisionNews.com. That's all the time that we have for today's special edition of ValloVision News. We hope that you've enjoyed these Shelby County Spotlights.
Tune in again later this week as we continue our Spotlight series. Have a great day, everyone.